Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Leviticus, the 5th chapter. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he hath seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Now, I'll read this in the NIV for a bit more clarity. It says, if anyone sins because they do not speak up when they hear a public charge to testify regarding something they have seen or learned about, they will be held responsible. So basically, that attitude of I ain't no snitch, yeah, the Lord ain't with that. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast. So if you touch the dead body of an unclean animal, or the dead body, right, a carcass of an unclean cattle, or the carcass of an unclean creeping things, or and if it be hidden from him. So if you touched it accidentally, you didn't realize it, you didn't notice, he also shall be unclean and guilty. And here you'll notice that regardless of whether you knew about it or not, you're still affected, right? You're still guilty of it. It says, or if he touched the uncleanness of man, so anything by which, it makes you unclean, right? That is not like a dead animal or anything like that. Whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal. So your seed of copulation, a menstruating woman's your menstruation, all of those, and many other things. And it be hid from him. When he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Okay, so when it comes to mind, oh shoot, that was actually, oh what? That rag you gave me was what now? You did what with that? So now you're aware of it, as it says, he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And I'll read this once again in another translation, but it's dealing with like taking a foolish oath and then realizing that was actually a foolish oath. And now you're guilty, all right, of whether you're trying to be absolved of it, or not, right? So yeah, let's do NIV first. It says, or if anyone thoughtlessly takes an oath to do anything, whether good or evil, in any matter one might carelessly swear about, even though they are unaware of it, but then they learn of it and realize their guilt, right? So you carelessly or unawarely, you swear, maybe it was out of anger or whatever. Now you're guilty of it because, say, maybe you don't keep it, right? Or you didn't mean to keep it, or you didn't intend it. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing. So whatever of some of these examples that were listed you're guilty in, you confess that you've sinned, and then this is what you would do. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord Yahweh, because you have trespassed. So this is something that you are now guilty of. Now, there's some subtle differences, but the Lord still treats it differently when it comes to a trespass offering and a sin offering. But the protocol and how they're handled is close to being one and the same. All right. But as we're seeing here, there is actually a difference between a sin offering and a burnt offering. All right, because when we went through the burnt offering, we read that it would make an atonement for you. However, there is still a difference, right? Even though it does make an atonement for you, it's not a sin offering, because with the burnt offering, you completely burn, right, that animal. But with the sin offering, there's some nuanced differences there. So it says here, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord Yahweh for his sin which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves. And this is what that looks like, right? Turtle, dove. This is what they look like. Okay, you're gonna bring two of them. Two. So if you can't bring a lamb or a goat, you're gonna bring those two turtle doves or two young pigeons onto the Lord Yahweh, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but not divide it asunder. And as it says in the NLT here, you must bring them to the priest, who will present the first bird as the sin offering. He will wring its neck, but without severing its head from the body. So the one for the sin offering is offered first. There we are. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering. See, so there's a distinction there. According to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring two turtle doves or two young pigeons, so you're really down bad, right? You can't really afford it. You can't get your hands on it. You couldn't bring a lamb or a goat. You can't get the turtle doves. Then the Lord's like, all right, I'll give you another alternative. So if you can't bring the two turtle doves or the two young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah, which is a measurement, of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. You're just going to bring that 10th part of that fine flour. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. It is a sin offering. So he's going to grab a handful and he's going to burn it on the altar. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his sin that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remnant shall be the priest's as a meat offering. So after that handful is offered to the Lord, the rest will go to the priest. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, If a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation, by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. So here, concerning the holy things, as it says, is basically in regard to the holy things of the Lord, right? So like in the NLT, it says, if one of you commits a sin by unintentionally defiling the Lord's sacred property, okay, then you must bring a guilt offering to the Lord. So, in whatever it is, whether it's, the utensils or, anything, okay, that the Lord considers holy. If you transgress or you defile it in any way, shape, or form, then you're to bring a ram, okay? And as it says, with thy estimation by shekels of silver. So it would be a ram that is estimated of a certain worth. You're not going to bring a cheap a cheap ram, right? So they like bring a ram that is, that if you were to buy, it would cost this much, right, in value. That's basically what you have to bring. And if you don't have one, guess what? Now you know how much it costs, so you got to go buy one. So they would bring it. It says here, and he shall make amends for the harm that he have done to the holy thing. So whatever it is, if it's like a utensil, if it's if you knock over the the basin or whatever it is, you're gonna make amends for it, okay, to give it back in full, and shall add, so whether it's like how much it costs or whatever the case is, and shall add the 5th part thereto. So you're gonna make full what's the word I'm looking for here? Damn, I can't find the word I'm looking for. Restitution. There you go. The water. Yeah. Anyway, the water y'all I'll try. Let me say that. So you're gonna make full restitution for it, plus an additional 20%, okay, which is that fifth part, because what's that? 20 times 5 is 100, right? Yeah, so that's additional 20%. And give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord Yahweh, though he wist it not, so though you were not aware of it, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock with thy estimation, so the estimation by Moses or by the priest, for how much that ram should be worth, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance wherein he erred, and wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. So whatever it is that you erred in concerning the holy things that you weren't aware of, you're gonna come. You're gonna first bring that restitution plus the 20% and your offering, and then an atonement will be made for you, and then it will be forgiven you. It is a trespass offering. He hath certainly trespassed against the Lord Yahweh. Okay, and hey, it might even be as far as like going into a place where you're not supposed to go, right? Like today, there's signs that say like no trespassing. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the book of Leviticus, the 5th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kudash. And until next time, Shalom.